The maze is twisting, you're twisting. Do you plan to see what you're missing? The sound of a bell from a tiny adventurer signals a new beginning.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 4 review of Boku no Hero Academia. And again, we're just going to jump straight into it as usual, as you should know at this point.
Right.
If you want to watch the reaction, it's down there in the link below. Check it out. With that said,
Thanks if you do, by the way.
yeah, if you do like those reactions, please do tell us. Please do leave your feedback on those because we really enjoy doing these reactions as well. And also, we just think this is just a nicer way of making sure that we've got a nice mix of review and reaction for the people who enjoy watching our reactions and for the people who prefer to just listen to our post reaction review. Anyway, yes, episode 5. As usual, not as usual. I'm going to try and narrow this down as much as I can. Essentially, entrance exam time for Izuku at UA Hero Academy, which was a nice way to introduce us to his power. Essentially, he wasn't that great at using it, which personally I'm quite glad about. I didn't really want him to just suddenly turn into freaking All Might and just smash everything to pieces. Instead, we mostly just see him struggling with activating the power in the first place, which was kind of interesting. I mean, most of the kind of...
predictable, actually.
Yeah, I mean, most of the battle was spent, like, running around going, okay, what the hell do I do? Because I've got no points whatsoever, and everyone is able to sort of kick my ass in this place, so, like, what do I do? But hope comes in the form of small, cute girl who can stop time.
No, I don't think it's stop time. It's levitation, essentially, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, probably levitation is the closest thing. But we see her at the start of the episode, I believe. The previous episode, actually, wasn't it? Where we first saw her. But she's like... She's the nice girl, you know. She's the friendly girl, the only person who's actually been nice to him, and she gets in a bit of a pickle, if that's what you could call having your legs crushed by a massive slab of concrete
and being about to be run over by a great big mech.
Yeah, so a bit of a pickle.
That was worth 0 points.
A right kerfuffle, as it were.
Right doozy.
Yeah, but in that, while she's trapped and probably going to die a horrible death, Izuku bursts forth with his hero power.
They can heal her, though, before using that.
Well, yeah, but can you heal death? Is the
That's
question.
what I'm joking about.
But yeah, he leaps into action, does a whole freaking One Punch Man style attack on the giant reptile
And
mech
breaks his
thing.
arm.
Breaks almost every bone in his body, to be honest. Like, he breaks both of his legs and he breaks the arm that he
There's only
punched with.
one. Yeah, then there's only one arm that isn't.
He almost broke his left arm as well. I don't know why I'm motioning to this arm, because this one's my right. This one's the left one. I know stuff.
Do you?
Allegedly. No comment at this
You just
point in time.
You're just like all text quote. You say you know.
Yeah, I'll Google it later, I'm sure it's correct. It was nice, and as a result of that, despite the fact he earned zilch in the actual beating up monsters portion of the event, he did get the highest score in rescue points, which was a score they never mentioned until right at the end.
Yeah, that was good. That's kind of a bit of Deus Machina.
However, I can kind of see why, because it makes more sense that, I mean, when you think about it, the fact that you can beat up a load of monsters and stuff, that's not really that important. I mean, lots of people could do that.
Really?
Heroes could, villains could technically beat up loads of monsters if they wanted to. It's not like it's a skill that's not
It's the transferable skills that matter, i.e. being able to recognise when somebody actually needs saving, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I mean, essentially the whole idea was, yes, you can get a lot of points by beating up monsters, but the fact they didn't tell them about this hidden score kind of makes sense in that, well, you're a hero, or you're training to be a hero at least. This shouldn't be something that's in the forefront of your mind. You shouldn't be thinking, I need to earn the most rescue points. Rescuing people should be on your agenda if you're going to be a hero, you know. So instead, while they're all beating up monsters and trying to, you know, outscore each other on the sort of villain points thing, it makes far more sense that someone who is more focused on saving a life, even if they get no points anywhere else, is more of a hero than the person who's just going for the high score.
Especially if they manage to one punch to, like, essentially the no point monster.
Yeah, and it's another kind of interesting way they went about it, because I figured it was going to go either one of two ways. I mean, we already knew, let's face it, that he was going to get into the academy.
Of course he would,
like,
because
there'd be no show if they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like, we know it's going to happen, but how is it going to happen?
I have to admit, it was.
And so, I do like how they did it, because at first it could have been the whole, you know, they could have gone with, oh, this girl transferred her points to him so that she actually failed the exam, but he went through, and you know, there's this whole sort of continuity following that. However, the way they went about it instead, with the whole rescue points thing, does actually, as I say, I think it makes more sense, especially the fact they didn't actually tell them about the rescue points, because that, in my mind, means that they're not focused on getting those points, and if they're not focused on getting those points, well, why would they have the motivation to actually rescue people unless they were actual sort of heroically minded people? You know, someone who actually does want to save someone.
Well, I have a few points to raise about that.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's really all I have to say for the time being, so I'm going to hand over to Stark.
Well, it's interesting you point that out, because the whole, you know, I forget what the regular points were called, but
Villain points, I think.
villain points. Well, the whole point of that was to prove their actual physical, well, basically their abilities, essentially.
Yeah.
That was to test their abilities. However, when you think about it, it could be, in theory, that some of the villains could have tried going through their. But some of the villains could pretend. I mean, this is an interesting thing that I'm not sure if they will cover or not. But what happens if one of the people there turns out to be a villain? You know, because the thing is, you could still teach them the physical abilities and how to hone those things, but if they don't have the, you know, the sort of mindset, like, you know, then that's the reason why the rescue points are there, to measure their mindset. And this kind of shows that his mindset is closer to what, you know, this kid's trying to say it matters more the sort of mindset you have rather than your core ability, because, and that is a, you know, that is a very good message to sell, because it's true. It is the mindset. Half of the time, getting your head around a lot of stuff, or, you know, skill-wise, is mindset, and having the right mindsets is the right sort of thing. And if you're going to be a hero, having the hero mindset, it doesn't matter whether you've got the abilities or not. Having the superpowers, or, well, the quirks, and having a hero mentality are two separate things. And I think this is what they're trying to go along the lines of. And
yeah.
So while it is sort of predictable, and it was basically an ass-pull, but and instead it kind of makes sense in the context of what they were doing, and that's what kind of makes it brilliant, because they come up with a context where that ass-pull actually makes sense, which actually makes it more brilliant, because it basically means, yes, there's a reason that they didn't tell them, because that would defeat the whole point. If they knew they were being tested on that, then they wouldn't. They would all have done it. They would have all bloody made it.
They'd all be trying to save each other. It'd be a disaster. No, you save me first.
Yeah,
it would.
Yeah, so from a practical standpoint, it makes sense to do that because you couldn't test it any other way. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to say, well, what do you think point-wise? Because I would say, I'm not sure if I would give it a 9 or not. I would say I'd still give it an 8 because it's still...
To be honest, I think we're doing really good for like scores of 8. I think pretty much almost everything we've watched so far.
I'm giving it 8.5 because I think it's a little bit...
to diversify.
And not only that, because I think just coming up with the context where that sort of not telling not telling them about it actually makes sense. Although I'm not willing to give it a 9 because I wasn't totally surprised by the ending of it. So that, by 9 points I have to actually be surprised by it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, 9.
And 10, it has to be, oh my god, that was so earth-breaking, that literally changes everything, or this makes so much bloody sense sort of thing is for 10.
I mean, I think the thing is, for me, it's not necessarily just like something that's unsurprising, because things can be predictable and still be really good,
yeah.
It's not always...
okay, fair.
Yeah, but for me, it's... Because, I mean, when you really think about it, something that's unpredictable that would be terrible was it turned out that, actually he doesn't get into the school and he has to return to his normal life.
Yeah,
that would be a pretty sort of anticlimactic ending. But that's not how they did it. They went for a predictable end path, but a kind of unpredictable, I suppose, routes to that end path. So I did like it. I'm going to give it an 8.75 because we're doing this in decimals now because I've turned the integer into a float.
Computer programming.
Programming jokes. That's what you come here for, isn't it? Quality. This
content. Is what happens when you have a review stroke reaction channel that's run by somebody who is a computer programmer and somebody's an IT professor.
And a database.
Occasionally we do have aerospace engineers and mechanical engineers.
This is essentially what happens when you get a software developer and a database engineer into a room to watch anime
and cartoons.
Or cartoons about equines, Welcome to the wacky wavy world of
dark matter marshmallows. Are you going to put a wave effect on that?
Probably not. Unless I can find one in the presets of Sony Vegas.
You'll probably get hundreds of comments about that. Oh, you can get this preset.
Yeah, please link me to plugins. But that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed our review, our thoughts on the episode. Look forward to next Wednesday when, again, we'll be bringing out yet another episode of Boku no Hero Academia. And that's all from me, Skybound.
Starlight Flags.
We'll see you later. Goodbye.